moving on from the Sixers, because we have not talked about the Eagles since probably like their second loss or something like that. We haven't talked about the Eagles in a good amount of time, but what are you expecting from today's game? Obviously, it's I don't think you ever said that you were a Ravens fan, but it's a big game between the Eagles and the Ravens today. What do you expect out of both teams?
I am. If I was an outsider looking in on this game, I would probably bet the Eagles to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not in a landslide or anything like that, but the Eagles have shown they might be the most complete team in football.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd like to see them go up against one of the top teams in the NFL, and I guess technically the Ravens are in that conversation. But with the Ravens defense as bad as it is, they are they are the poster child for could lose to anyone and could beat anyone in the NFL because the defense is so bad it can make any NFL offense look great.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ravens offense is so good, it can go out there and put up numbers against um, the best of defenses.
Right.
With that being said, I think the combination of the Eagles having a good defense, so, I don't expect them. It's not like when the Ravens play the Bengals and we expect to score 35, 40 points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you score that against the Eagles. And I can realistically see the Ravens defense giving up 35 to 40 points to the Eagles offense, especially the way it's been rolling.
Yeah.
So I would bet the Eagles to win this game. I think it'll be a close game,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this one probably goes to the Eagles.
So going back to their losses, how does that Eagles team relate to the Eagles that have been winning their last few games?
It doesn't. It looks like a completely different team,
Right.
um, especially when AJ Brown is out there. And Devontae Smith, when they're out there, the offense just looks different. Jalen Hurts has his weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley obviously is a huge weapon, but you aren't able to crowd the box and try to limit Saquon, which even with crowding the box has been very difficult and hasn't really happened. But now you can't. You have two wide receivers you cannot leave cornerbacks on islands with, and it opens everything up for Saquon. And
Mm-hmm.
if you do push your safeties up to try to stop Saquon a bit, then like I said, you have AJ Brown on the outside, one of the best wide receivers in football,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just going to kill you. And if he doesn't kill you, Devontae Smith is somewhere open and he'll kill you.
So was it
Uh,
really just Devontae Smith and AJ Brown were hurt early, and that's why we weren't winning games?
I think that was what was slowing the offense down, and the defense wasn't right. They have tweaked some things in that secondary.
Yeah.
Quinyon Mitchell really coming out as probably the one on that team now. That Darius Slay. Darius Slay's been getting targeted by teams a bit this year.
Mm-hmm.
Quinyon stepping up. Cooper DeJean playing more snaps. Has just really, like I said, they tweaked a couple things in that secondary, and it has made a huge difference.
Yeah.
They've gone from a team that wasn't very good against the pass to damn near one of the best teams in the NFL against the pass. They weren't getting home either early in the season. Uh, they weren't getting sacks through the first couple of weeks, but now they're back. The pressure's back. They're getting to the quarterback.
Hmm.
Jalen Carter's a monster in the middle of that defensive line, and it's all coming together at the right time for them.
Hmm.
They're the hottest team in football. You can make a case they're probably the best team in football. I'd probably still give the edge to the Lions
Mm-hmm.
in the NFC because obviously you got the Chiefs,
Yeah.
Bills, Ravens in the AFC, but in the NFC, I think it's the Lions, Eagles, and then I'm trying to think who the third best team in the NFC would be. I'm probably missing somebody, maybe the Vikings, but I don't see the Vikings on the level of the Lions and Eagles. Although
Yeah.
when the Lions and Vikings played, it was a very close game, but that's also a division game. Those are always close.
Right. Mm.
Packers looked really good against the Dolphins, but like I said, I just don't put the Packers and the Vikings on the same level as I put the Lions and Eagles.
Hmm. So out of the conferences, then who is most likely to make it out of both to go to the Super Bowl this year? Just from where it's standing right now, not like
Um,
statistically wise, just like what you've seen already.
I think NFC it'll be Eagles or Lions,
Mm-hmm.
and then I until I see a team step up and beat the Chiefs, I can't say that the Chiefs won't be the team out of the AFC.
Right.
Um, it just it's almost inevitable at this point the way they sneak games out of their ass and then the playoffs start and the same thing happens. I'm sure Mahomes has been a little up and down this year. I'm sure the playoffs hit and he'll turn it around. And Travis Kelce, who's been invisible for
Mm-hmm.
many weeks this season, all of a sudden he'll be out there catching 7 passes for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Right.
Um, the Chiefs are inevitable. They remind me of the Patriots. It's like, oh, we're hyping up this team in the AFC because they look really good. They're hot all year, and then, oh, but you ran into Tom Brady in the playoffs. Sorry,
Right. Right.
time for vacation.
So what puts you say in the NFC it's either the Eagles or the Lions, but what's gonna put them above the other? Like what can you see from the Eagles to put them above the Lions, and then the same question for the Lions, what can they do to be like 100%? Yeah.
The Lions have a very creative offense. They call a lot of good plays, and they can go weapon for weapon with a team like the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
You got Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams over the top. You have the best 1-2 running back punch in football. Eagles probably have the best running back in football in Saquon, but the Lions have the best 1-2 in Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. I don't think any other team can field 2 running backs that good.
Mm-hmm.
And their defense is much improved. My problem with the Lions last year is their defense was a little shaky. They get into a lot of shootouts. That's not happening this year. They are blowing teams out.
Right.
And they have 18 players on injured reserve, which is insane to have 18 players on injured reserve and only have 1 loss.
Hmm.
With the Eagles, I would say the Eagles probably have the better defense. So they could probably slow the Lions down a bit better than like the teams they've been dominating recently. Like the Jaguars' defense is atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
That first half against the Bears stepped up in the second half, but that first half of the Bears game, the Bears just looked awful. The Lions were doing whatever they wanted to
Mm-hmm.
for those first couple drives. And I think the Eagles have the offense to match the Lions. Like I said, I think both of those teams can go weapon for weapon with each other. They're 2 of the most talented teams on offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they're both well coached. I like Dan Campbell. I think Sirianni's a good coach. It's tough to coach in Philadelphia. You know, them first 3 weeks, everybody wanted Sirianni fired.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted him fired at the end of last season, and then the season has turned around, and I have not heard a fire Nick Sirianni in over a month.
You think if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl and they lose again, they'll fire Nick Sirianni?
No, I
Do
don't
you
think.
do you think they won't fire him, or do you think they shouldn't fire him?
Both. I don't think you should ever fire a coach that just got you to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, like, I don't know. I can't see it. Unless it's one of them scenarios like in the 90s, the Bills went to, I think it might have been 4 straight. It was at least 3 straight Super Bowls and lost all of them.
Mm.
Then maybe I can understand it. But no, you don't fire coaches that get you to the Super Bowl.
He went one time, right? Or 2 times?
No, yeah, he won his first season as coach.
Yeah.
This is his 3rd year.
Well, good luck to the Eagles. Good luck to the Ravens. Should be a good game.
Quick fire on the other Philly teams. The Phillies haven't done much this offseason yet. They've tendered a couple guys and brought some guys back that were already on the team. It's looking more likely that Jeff Hoffman might be leaving. I would like them to find a way to re-sign him, but he's also hinting at maybe wanting to be a starter and not a bullpen pitcher. So, and obviously you get paid a lot more money being a starting pitcher, so I don't blame him for wanting to do that.
Didn't we not like Jeff Hoffman?
No, we like Jeff Hoffman. He's a very good relief pitcher. He just kind of melted in the playoffs last year, but so did the rest of the team. So I'm not going to single him out.
I just remember a lot of us at least were wanting.
Yeah, he wasn't very good down the stretch of the season, and he completely blew up in the postseason. But if we're getting rid of everyone who blew up in the postseason, we're going to have a completely new baseball team next year.
Right.
So, no, I'd like to see them get him back, but that's about all the Phillies have done this offseason. And the Flyers are on fire. They're playing great hockey. Mitch Cobb has 3 overtime winners this year, and he is looking like he is everything he was hyped up to be.
That's he's a rookie, or
he's a 19-year-old Russian kid.
That's crazy.
They drafted him 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and he was He came out a year. There was like a phenom in the NFL draft named Connor Bedard, and he was the hands down. Like you didn't even like whoever got the number one pick, you could have just given them Connor Bedard before the draft even started. It was written in stone that he was going first.
Right.
But everybody said Mitch Cobb was probably the best player with him in the draft. They said they were probably equal in terms of skill and potential, but he fell to 7 to the Flyers because he was under contract in Russia. So there were thoughts that he might not be able to come over here for up to 4 years.
Oh, wow.
So a team like the Flyers, who absolutely stunk, were like, whatever, we'll wait. And they ended up only having to wait about 2 years, and they bought him out of his contract with the Russian team. So, yeah, so he is 19 years old, and he looks like he is going to be a superstar in the NHL.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nice. It's the first time the Flyers have had a bona fide superstar in quite some time.
Yeah. Gotta tap in. Talk to y'all.
Yeah.